Hello everyone and welcome to a Doctor Who review with me, John Parker, and...
Me, Jack Howling, and...
Me, Cody Chronotis.
Today, folks, we are reviewing episode 4, Knock Knock. And this episode, I have to admit, apart from the other three that we've had so far, this one being the best. Well, so far in the series anyway.
I agree.
Now, the theme of this plot kind of... It was definitely a spooky episode. Well, I say it was spooky, I mean... I suppose it depends upon the viewer, but for me, yeah, it wasn't as spooky as like other Doctor Who episodes I've seen. Bill and her friends basically are searching for a house pretty much anywhere until suddenly this landlord out of nowhere just appears randomly, which to me doesn't make much sense as to how he managed to do that, but hey, it's Doctor Who, never mind.
On the prowl.
Yeah, just literally just randomly there. So they managed to find this old rickety, creaky house that they managed to move in, and of course the Doctor, being the Doctor, suddenly gets a whiff of suspicion, suspense. I wonder. His curiosity strikes, and he discovers later on that the house itself has some rather interesting secrets. Later they realise that the house is not more or less just an ordinary house, but the house itself is in fact alive. Built and constructed by very
Insects.
weird, yeah.
As
Insects.
the Doctor called them, triads.
I didn't get the triads.
I think he just randomly made the name up.
It's just made up.
I think so.
Ah, well, the bugs like that remind me of. I don't suppose any of you two have seen the Mummy film, have you? Well, the Mummy.
Yes, I do. I have.
Yeah. Well, obviously in the Mummy films, well, the first two or the first one, obviously they've got those weird scallop kind of creature things, haven't they? That just kind of eat people. So that kind of reminded me of that, but of course they were literally alien. They weren't Earth bugs, they were literally from outer space. Although, we never got to understand where they actually originated from. So, it's a bit of a shame, but I suppose like with some creatures in Doctor Who, they do randomly appear, perhaps through a rift in time and space somewhere. So we never really will know their origin, because Earth is just open to those kind of things. And later on, during the entire episode, they learn that the house is not only inhabited by these weird bugs and the landlord himself, who appears randomly anywhere at any time, but the current occupant of the house has been there for the past, 70 years?
Yes.
And it turned out to be the mother of the landlord, who
rather than the daughter,
who transformed into wood.
Yeah, she was slowly converted to wood by those insects to keep her alive.
Yeah,
because she had an illness.
Which is strange, because imagine your whole entire organs and everything just transforming into wood. It's like, what?
And then kept alive by the energy or the life force, I guess, from the people that the house is consuming.
What were you saying, Tyrone?
They never explained what was wrong with her for the... I mean, I know it isn't important to the plot, really, but they never explained what it was. They just said, she was ill, so these bugs made her better.
Yeah, that is true. And I suppose it goes back to my original point, like I said, we don't know where they came from. I mean, all we do know is that they were picked randomly in the garden. So, I don't know, they definitely... I don't believe there's no loose plot lines anywhere. I don't think that there deliberately is any. The plot itself is pretty neat. Neat and tidy, I will say. There's not much I can really complain about the plot itself.
I think any information that we weren't told just wasn't important. I mean, knowing what those particular creatures are, it doesn't really matter that much. We just know that the Doctor wanted to call them triads because he couldn't think of any other name, and that was the one he wanted to go with. And as he said himself, he doesn't want to call them lice.
Yeah.
So we don't really need to know exactly where they come from. I don't think they'll probably ever be referenced again. But and then of course we don't really need to know what disease that she had. We just know that it was going to kill her, and those creatures just decided to start converting her. And the son decided to carry that going to keep her alive.
Well, no, I perfectly agree. And like I said,
I suppose
plot was nice and tidy. I do think
there is a slight hiccup though. I'm not quite sure how this happened, but how on earth did the mother think that the man was her father, when if he's been keeping her alive all this time, has she just started to forget, or what actually happened?
Well, I suppose what you could argue is that there was, well, besides the fact she transformed into wood, there were other side effects. Perhaps the transformation to save her life also caused, not brain damage, but certain things just get lost a little
Confused,
bit.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, like, it's like taking a type of anesthetic in a way. You know, your mind's all kind of like everywhere. You know, it's not really anywhere. And I suppose through the power of, I don't know, let's say suggestion, I suppose over that span of time, she would then believe that, you know, that was indeed the case. So there's a good argument there. So really there is no issue with that. But now, the plot itself, jumping forward a little bit for do with the writing, continuity-wise for the actual plot, I thought was pretty sound. I don't have any issues regarding continuity in this episode in particular, and I think by far in the series to date, well, this series and the last actually, this one was pretty good in that respect.
I also liked the idea of the creatures being able to go through at a cellular level through the wood. Yeah. That's kind of cool. I like things that can, you know, have that ability.
They created the house, didn't they, in a way? Or was it just the wooden parts?
They just converted all the wood. They just made it all through the wood, I think. They had that ability to just convert between wood and organic.
So that's the plot, basically. And now, with the characters, obviously we've got a bunch of different people in this. But in particular, I want to talk about, well, I want to know what your opinion is on Bill's personality, the way she's progressed from the past 3 episodes into this one. I do feel she's changed quite a bit. You know, she has that sense of realism now that I can kind of grow into.
And she's smart.
Yeah, she does have pretty good common sense. I'll give her that.
She worked out when she worked out that the man was younger. Sorry, no, should have been really old and dead, but he wasn't, and therefore he was probably the son.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do feel like we said before, her character is going to progress, and I think it already has. So I'm pretty glad now that I'm seeing a side of Bill that I actually do quite like, and I do feel she has definitely grown to me now. So again, in this episode, Nardal didn't really have much of a part to play, except towards the very end, of course, where he was working on the vault.
That bit blew my mind.
Now, moving on from Nardal and to the vault now.
That bit blew my mind.
Yeah, that bit was such a tease.
I loved it, and it's just amazing.
When it cut to the credits, I went, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah.
Well, actually, I said something else, but it was something else beginning with C. But never mind. But who? I think we pretty much know who's behind the vault, but
I think we do.
But to be honest,
it worked out.
You think it's Mr. Sim?
I think it's John Sim, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is as well. Because the simple fact of when the doctor was like, and then there was someone who got murdered, and he's like, dun 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 dun. I was just like, yeah, that's him.
Yeah, so psychopath.
Yeah.
I just really wanted to see who was behind there. I really did, and they teased us so bad.
I tell you what, if it isn't him, I'd be very surprised.
I will be.
I mean, it can't really be Missy unless he's trapped her.
Well, they're both going to be together at the same time, apparently.
Exactly, unless he's pulled John Sim's master from his previous timeline to preserve him, quote unquote, and has bunged him in the vault to safekeep him, kind of thing.
But then, how would Missy be free?
Exactly. So I guess this is where the timey-wimey stuff comes into it.
Are you thinking what I think you're thinking? Are you thinking this is the time before the Master regenerated into Missy?
Yeah, and I think that we may, I mean, I doubt it, but we may see him regenerate into her.
Maybe.
Might even have 2 Misses in one episode. God, can you imagine?
Speaking of regeneration, when the reference was made to regeneration, I thought, so is this going to be that episode then? And then it wasn't, which I was glad about.
I was going to say, a bit early. A bit early for that. Although, to be honest,
it's supposed to regenerate sometime, either the last episode or Christmas special. We're not sure yet. They keep teasing us which date that is.
I think they said the last episode, but Capaldi is going to make some sort of appearance in the Christmas special somehow. That was the last thing. That was the last rumour I heard, but take it with a pinch of salt, as they say. But overall, the writing of this episode and everything around it was, I thought, amazingly brilliant. I did like it. It was a much more of a darker tone.
Yeah, I was saying to my mother actually when we were watching it. I said to her, by the looks of the trailer, this episode was giving me more of a Russell T Davies style era episode, because the way the trailer portrayed this like spooky episode reminded me of the old style episodes we had before Stephen Moffat took over, and I was actually hoping that the writer wasn't Stephen Moffat, and sure enough it wasn't. It was a guy called Mike something, I think. I forgot what his last name is, but
well, either way, done a brilliant job.
different writer, fantastic episode, loved it.
So overall, John, trying to prevent myself from sneezing. Oh, succeeded. Out of 10, what would you give it?
I thoroughly enjoyed the episode. At the moment, I can't really fault it, but at the same time, I don't really want to give it a 10 out of 10 just yet, because I feel like I want to hold on to that kind of mark. Yeah, so I'm going to give it the highest I can, which is, of course, a solid 9 out of 10.
Okay, Cody, with everything that's gone on in the episode, what verdict would you give?
Given that this episode, frankly, to me, has been more what I expect from a Doctor Who episode than the last 2 excuses.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to give this one a 10.
Oh, okay. A golden 10. Way.
Okay.
Right, yeah. For me, I too am personally going to hold back. However, this episode was absolutely amazing and I absolutely loved it. So I am going to give it an 8.5. 8.5. Yeah. Ooh there. Ooh.
Oh no.
Oh, there's a 0.5 involved.
There's a 0.5 involved.
Well, if you could do point numbers, I mean, damn.
I know, it's an improvement. I'm working on it. Right, folks, well, that is the end of our review. I hope you enjoyed, and do join us next week for the review of episode 5.
Also, give us a vote of this episode yourself by clicking on the poll card that's probably disappeared now on the video, and tell us what you think.
Do it!
Yes, and also comment below if you want extra information, or if we've said something wrong, go ahead and tell us what you think in the below comments section. So there we go.
Tool pits, folks.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, folks, for watching. If you enjoyed it, do please leave a like or comment below on this video.
If you want more, on Jack's side is the last video and the recommended video that we've suggested to you.
To stay tuned for more, on John's right is the link to our channel so you can subscribe, and also we have a link to our website if you want more information about who we are and what we do. Until next time,
take care, stay safe,
and remember,
let your geeks out. Bye bye, guys.